Okay. Good afternoon to all. Today afternoon, we have our proud alumnus, Dr. S. Nachiyappan, with us, who is going to deliver a webinar on innovative practices in high-value manufacturing supply chain, a gap analysis. So, we had a long relationship with Dr. Nachiyappan during his. I have seen him during his college days. He used to be very active in the research area. He will be very much keen on getting things done. That should be the motto for all the youngsters. I was to convey at this juncture. And for this particular webinar, we have some of our alumnus joined here. Mr. Ramanathan Kannappan, who is working at presently is working in Singapore, and Jyoti Basu, he is again our alumnus of us. He has done his postdoctoralship in China, and Dr. S. Sivakumar, so who is working in Muscat as an faculty in a two-bar school. I'm not able to recollect his university name. Fine. So they will be also sharing their views at the end of this session. So with this, I hand over the session to Professor K. Chakulingam sir for the keynote address. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you, Palaniappan. It is very great pleasure in sharing my thoughts in this seminar. I welcome Dr. Nachiyappan, the guest speaker of this seminar. Dr. Nachiyappan is the professor of Operation and Logistic Management and Supply Chains, SPRU, Science Policy Research Unit, University of Sussex Business School, Brinton, Nottingham. And I welcome the alumni Ramanathan, Jyoti Basu, Siva, and all the students, friends for this webinar. Actually, we have chosen a right topic today because supply chain is going to predominant in the globalized environment. Because the recent article what I have studied is mentioning that the India is having a very good population, more than 100 crores, and the consumer product and other two-wheeler and four-wheeler and all having a heavy market, but manufacturing concept is somewhat not that much equivalent to China and so on. But people are here are very much knowledgeable in design field and all. So the design India may become a design hub, and China may become a manufacturing hub, and there will be a logistic is inevitable when this type of operations are happen. Addition to that, this latest supply chains are having a lot of challenges. For example, the speed and the quality of customer service, and then we are having cost, risk management, and then product market changes, and a lot of things are happening in variety of field, especially in the supply chain. So here we are having the eminent professor, Dr. S.P. Nachiyappan. He did a lot of publication and book chapters and books in the particular domain. We are fortunate to have a guest speaker like this. We are fortunate, and once again I am saying that we are lucky and fortunate to have the speaker like Nachiyappan to share his views for the young budding engineers. So this budding engineer should know about the various value system from the Nachiyappan. You may not be know about it. Nachiyappan is did his postgraduate degree here, and he was worked as an assistant professor. He will come by 8:40. At the time we have to go by 4:30 is the ending of the day. But all the day he will go by 9 o'clock only. And even Saturday he will come, Sunday he will come. He is a very student-friendly teacher. Especially, he was the mentor for various groups in the mechatronics people. Mechatronics, because when Nachiyappan is working here, that is the new course we have started in our department. So he is a role model to many of our teachers as well as a student also. So in this juncture, I welcome Dr. Nachiyappan to deliver his speech. Before that, I am moving to Dr. Palaniappan to brief about the Nachiyappan profile. Thank you.
Thank you, Chakalingam sir. I'm happy to introduce Nachiappan here. As Chakalingam sir mentioned lot about Nachiappan, he made my role very easy. So Nachiappan, he has obtained his BE Mechanical in Madurai Kamaraj University in 1995, and in 97 he completed his graduated from our college as an ME production graduate. Then he joined our college in 1999 as a assistant professor in mechatronics, mechanical at the time, mechatronics with our mechanical department, and he started his research. In 2005, he completed his research in the area of modeling, supply chain modeling and management, management of logistics management and supply chain. And he worked here for about 13 years. After 13 years, during that period, he has got many laurels. He got the uh, Career Award and the Young Scientist Award from Government of India, and he is a recipient of Australian Endeavour Research Fellowship Award, and he is a Boy Scout Fellowship also. So throughout his career, he used to always work hard and get many awards, many laurels. So we can say he is a very enthusiastic professor, and he joined Nottingham University, China campus. He worked there for about 5 years in the Ningbo campus in China. Nottingham School's campus is at Ningbo at China. Then he has moved on to Sussex University, and he is since 2016 he is working there. And in Sussex also, he continued his professionalism, and he has been given many administrative positions, including head of the department. And at presently, he is having a senior faculty. He is being a senior faculty in the Higher Education Academy UK, which is supposed to be a very respectable position. So with this, I welcome Dr. Nachiappan to deliver his lecture. Welcome, Nachiappan.
Yeah, so thank you so much, sir. So this is for your kind words. I think you guys can hear me. So good afternoon, all. I'm Nachiappan Subramanian. So I would like to thank the management, the principal, head of the department, and Professor Palniappan, Professor Prakash, and others who invited me to give a talk today. So this was a long ongoing issue. So last year we planned to give a talk to TC students, but unfortunately because of Corona, it got postponed. This year we thought, okay, we will try to do something which is relevant to mechanical engineering students. I also happy to see my other friends like Professor Sivakumar, my student and a faculty at Bangalore, like Jyoti Basu, Ramanathan from Singapore. So it's all honor to see all of these people in today's call. So I'm trying to share the screen. So I don't know whether you can see my screen, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes, sir. We are able to see.
Right. So sorry about that. So we use normally Zoom and Teams, so I'm not very well versed in Google. So first of all, thanks to the TC management and the administrative team for inviting me. So today I'm going to talk about something what we are trying to do. This is an ongoing study which is not yet complete, but I wanted to share some of the thoughts like what is ongoing in terms of in the UK, especially in terms of manufacturing. So we call something advanced manufacturing elsewhere in the world, but in the UK we call this as high value manufacturing. So it's an advanced manufacturing. We refer to some of the sectors like aerospace, kind of marine, kind of pharmaceutical, and other tech industries. So we wanted to find out there is a skill shortage. So when I was in India, so as people mentioned earlier, so I used to work in India. So I used to see like people say that universities or colleges are producing graduates who are not employable. So right now, like we wanted to, this is not only in India, so elsewhere, like in the UK also, we face the similar situation. So there's a company's expectations are so huge, and the technology's growth is substantial, and the employable graduate with the proper skills is a big question. So they expect universities to train employable graduates who should be ready to take the job when they go and do something activity. So we wanted to see like what is happening in the industry scenario, what is the expectation, and what kind of courses are being offered in the university, and what is the gap they do have. So what university faculties are doing a lot of research, whether we call in the UK as all the universities as research based universities, where we say like research-led teaching. So we wanted to transform the research in a way to develop graduates who should be employable in the company. So there is a bit of gap, we realized, and then this is a part of a project which has been funded by British Council. We are trying to do a collaborative framework to come out with new modules, new courses in next 3 years. So we are trying to identify where there is a gap, what is missing in the university curriculum. And as an employable graduate, you guys, when you go for a job, do you need to know whether you have a right skills sets to get a job? So how you need to equip yourself. So I'm just throwing out something to you to have an idea about how to equip yourself, along with the fundamental concepts and theories what you study over your 4-year course. So please feel free to stop me when you want, if you have any questions. So let me start with like the revolution. So this is industry revolution, which is started from late 17th century to till today. So we all know industry 1, where mechanization changed, especially the textile sector, the transport sector, etc. Steam revolutionized in terms of mobility of people. So it was like a driving force in late kind of the 17th century or early 18th century, I would say. Likewise, in industry 2, we call like electrification, which has like brought in us all this Ford Model T, like mass production, assembly line, electrical use of electrical energy in all activities what we do. So the bit of automation popped up, and then there was like a lot of fatigue has been reduced substantially. Then we came like middle of like 19th century, I would say, like 20th century, mid of 20th century, computers dominated. We all know, we got to know that we are fortunate to make our lifestyles very simple in terms of what we do. So automation dominated. So personal computers became accessible, especially from the India. We are very good in terms of programming. So we got exposed to computers, where in the Western economy, they heavily like used computer controlled machines, where they need skill sets to deal with machineries, etc. So now there is like in the late, I would say like mid of 21st century. So or earlier mid of 21st century, digitization is the hot talk going around in the industry. Like so they say like they need a manpower who should have a fundamental knowledge plus digital skill sets to work in the future. So what we mean by digitalization, so they call digitization is digitizing the paper-based content to digital format, but digitalization is building capability. So how we are going to have right skill sets to extract value from what you do, from using digital. You need to have some kind of digital skill sets, like to capture value and then convert and make something good out of it. So it's mostly about how we are going to deal with cyber physical systems. You guys might have heard about machine-to-machine interaction and how to build intelligence among machine-to-machine interaction, automate decisions, etc. So like IoT is we call like Internet of Things, is basically how we are going to like automate various data we collect from different data points, how to make some sense out of it using sensors. So this is like where we are. Like even though you study mechanical, I know most of you guys joined in this call or mechanical engineering people, but still you need to think about digital skills. So there are a lot of advancements going on. So today my agenda, so what I'm going to talk today is mostly, I will try to shed you some light on what is high value manufacturing, what's known there, Why is it so important? Why we are so worried about high value manufacturing right now? And what is high value manufacturing supply chains? Okay, manufacturers or focal companies we call in the supply chain literature, where they are dominant in terms of coming out with sophisticated kind of processes. They wanted to come out with some high value products. Most of them now they are engaging in terms of through platforms. They are trying to engage into services to where they get more than 50% of revenue. So why this is important globally, high value manufacturing, and what is missing there? And then what you guys need to get equipped so that you will find a job, or if you want to become an entrepreneur, where to focus. And what is a supply side issue? Basically, we look at from supply chain, from the literature, we used to think about what is missing in training. Like for example, supply side, what courses universities are offering right now, and how to meet the expectations of the industry. So how to change the courses what we are trying to offer at university. So in the UK, there are a lot of debate going on high value manufacturing, and they're revising. So there is some more emphasis given to the STEM courses we call science, technology, engineering, management, mathematics courses, where they feel like there is a big shortage of skill sets. So they wanted to revamp entire curriculum to satisfy the requirements of the industry. So let's also, at the end, I will try to briefly summarize some of the opportunities where you guys can, if you want to do higher studies, or if you want to go for a company, how you need to upskill. So reskill and upskill, which is the hot talk going on in the industry. So what is high value manufacturing? So high value manufacturing, as I said, is elsewhere in the globally. If you go to US, they talk about advanced manufacturing, whereas in UK, they refer to as high value manufacturing, which is nothing but an application of technical knowledge, leading edge technical knowledge. Some of the technology I'm going to show you from the research point of view, from various research paper, what people are discussing, and how to develop those expertise to creation of new products, new processes, which we call innovative. It could be radical or incremental. We call innovative product, innovative process, and associated like services. Because of this, you have seen Uber and whatever it is, Airbnb kind of platform where digital aggregators are popping up, where they wanted to economically utilize the resources what they have. So we will talk about some of the new processes, new products, which has been discussed in the literature. So this is an ongoing study, as I mentioned earlier. I need to talk to industry professionals. So we are in touch with few industrial professionals in terms of like understanding the requirements. But right now, what I'm going to share with you is only from the desk-based research, what we have done until now in terms of understanding what is the shortage in terms of supply side from the university point of view, what we are producing, whether we are producing graduate. So there is a bit of a kind of something going wrong from the university point of view. Are we equipping, are we updating the curriculum and trying to produce something which is required in the market? So that's what we are trying to see in today's session. So as I said, there will be a question like, oh, what is high value manufacturing? What industrial sector I can tag with? So basically, you can tag with the aerospace, marine, medical equipment, which is high value in terms of like not only like automating using technology, beyond technology, how we are going to make some sense out of it. So how we are going to add value to the user. So that is where the critical thing is there. So if you say Apple never produces any equipment. So they design, they prototype, they test, and then they have a contract manufacturer in China and Singapore to do that. So or Taiwan. So basically, like what is high value for them? They do why they do, because they can make more money. So high value manufacturing, the profit, like if you do a conventional manufacturing, the profit margin will be 5%. Whereas if you engage in high value manufacturing, the profit margin is more than 35%. So most of the companies are interested in getting high profit margin end of the day. That is the secret behind this. Okay, so why high value manufacturing? We have a catapult in for different emerging topics. We have a separate group in the UK for high value manufacturing. Anyway, I'm most oriented towards supply chain, but for this project, we wanted to say like how to revise what kind of new modules need to be, or new kind of courses has to be brought in the UK. So that is my task here. So that's what we are trying to visit all the university curriculum and see where we lack and how to update the curriculum in order to meet the requirements of the industry. So in terms of this high value manufacturing, right now 10% of value added is through high value manufacturing in the UK. So 3 million people have been working in this sector, and it is contributing something around 360 billion pounds for the UK's GDP. So which is phenomenal, which is critical, and this industry has several challenges. High value manufacturing, there is a shortage of trained manpower. So far they are hiring graduates, they are upskilling the graduates, they're giving a lot of training and then making them, and then using them in the day-to-day phase. So it's critical. So there is something universities have to do in order to address this skill gap. Also, like this is from Business Development Board Canada report recently, like they say, we talk a lot about Industry 4. Do we have enough skill sets, the digital skill sets available right now? So they say like lack of qualified employees, 42%. This is a survey done with the various companies which are digitalized, and they are using a lot of Industry 4. You guys know, like Industry 4 is more about digitalization. So it is more about machine-to-machine interaction, how to govern the machine-to-machine interaction, how to build out intelligence to machines, so that it has to make its own autonomous decisions. So what we seen is here from this is very clear: lack of qualified employees, employees' resistance to change, even though the existing technology complexity, cyber attacks, cyber security, which is a big issue. So even though whatever it is, the predominant issue, like if you deal with mostly like there are new jobs emerging, the conventional jobs are disappearing, so there are new jobs. So how we need to train. So there was a good study recently from CIPD, we call in the UK like a professional development institute. So they said in next 5 to 10 years, so all this accounting, banking, law professionals, all are going to disappear. So only creativity, science, innovation, kind of entrepreneurship going to stay. So all other jobs are going to disappear because of this digital evolution. So also, like, we didn't rely only on this report. We also thought, okay, why can't we see at the, so where we all know commercially well-known professional platform is LinkedIn, and Indeed we have in this UK for a job search. For example, the employable. So the graduate were like the students who are graduating from universities would look for employment in these kind of sites like LinkedIn and Indeed. So we looked at, okay, what is the scope for advanced manufacturing? So what kind of skill set industry expect from the graduates? Even though they are graduates, but still they expect something. They need to know about machine learning, big data analytics, even though for manufacturing jobs. So we think like one manufacturers, we are good at design, we are good at understanding process, product layouts, product life cycle management, or we talk about more about like heat transfer, things like that. But in addition to that, so in the digital world, do you know something about machine learning? Do you know something about big data analytics? Do you know about something about smart factories? So how to govern this Industry 4 manufacturing organization? So that is the key expectation from the industry, you to know. So there are many ways to upskill these kind of additional skill sets. There are different plans like MOOC courses, open worldwide. There are like a lot of open courses available with MIT, Stanford, and things like that. Also, there are like informal way of learning these skill sets is like Udemy, and a lot of other portals are there where you can learn. I have seen some of the students I've interacted earlier, like a guy from TCE, where he said he's learning all this digital skill set through MOOC free of cost, online whenever he has a free time, and he is superb in terms of doing process automation and things like that. So these are some of the expectations we have seen through LinkedIn. So not only the reports, we have seen various white papers, green papers right now, industry publishers. What they say is these are the shortages. In addition, we also looked at the job portal, the professional portal, and we said like, okay, there are many things needed. So with this one, what we thought, like, what is high value manufacturing supply chains? Like, it is, as I mentioned earlier at the beginning, it is not adoption of Industry 4 technology. It is how to build capabilities. Capability is nothing but how to develop experience among graduates to handle those technology and create some value. So it is sharing information with wider supply chains and reconfiguring products and processes through innovative procedures we call product and process innovation, and how to integrate with the new kind of digital business service model. So also, like, it's not a focal company, how we are going to engage with the supplier, where you can derive a lot of innovation from suppliers. Also, innovation comes through wider network. It is not a single company's contribution right now. In today's world, a lot of innovation is coming from small and medium enterprises who could be like tier 2 suppliers or tier 3 suppliers, which is evidenced in Apple supply chain. So a lot of Apple supply chain innovation only came from small SMEs, small and medium enterprises. So rightly, companies are looking for open innovation, crowd platforms to leverage all those capabilities which are not existent in the past because of this internet and other options what we have right now. So why I'm saying a couple of UK is ranked third in terms of innovation index. They have innovation index in terms of product, process, patents. They measure based on kind of number of people who are getting Nobel laureate, coming out some new innovations, new patents, new processes, etc. But why we are looking here at Singapore and China? Singapore is ranked at 10 in terms of innovation, and China is ranked in terms of 20, because the most supply chain. If you say manufacturing hub, I think HOD mentioned in the beginning that China is a manufacturing hub for the world in terms of any supply chain. So any supply chain, they go to China to get quality as well as the cost-efficient product. So people think, I don't know, when I come to India, I used to hear that China product are dubious, it is fake and things like that. But really 70 to 80% of the products supplied throughout the US or the Western economy comes only from China, which is high quality. So, but they are coming up. So we are working with few universities in China and National University of Singapore for this project. So that's why I mentioned them here in this presentation. Basically, they wanted to go up in the league table in terms of innovation. So they wanted to revamp their curriculum. They wanted to be number one in terms of like innovation. So that is where the competition lies around. So this British Council is engaging with those universities in terms of revamping their curriculum. So we wanted to know, basically, like, our question here is, what are the innovations need to be done? What is ongoing in terms of high value manufacturing? What courses has been offered by the university? Or university preparing the right graduates with relevant knowledge and skill sets for the career in high value manufacturing supply chain? So that is what we wanted to study. That is our objective in this study. And then I'm trying to present only the desk-based research what we have done so far. So I'm just working on, so we have completed only 1 year. So next 4 years, we will be completing the study. So basically, like we did, to start with, we wanted to understand what researchers are doing about high value manufacturing, what universities are offering right now, and what are the expectations of the company. So I'm going to only present here only the two perspectives. One is from the industry perspective. Sorry, the one is from the university perspective. The other one is from the research perspective, what university faculties are doing and what kind of classes they do and what kind of modules they run and how they develop the students. So We wanted to know the innovative product and process high value supply chain. We wanted to know the challenges in adopting innovations. We wanted to know the trends in high value manufacturing innovations. We wanted to synthesize through literature what is ongoing, and we wanted to find out whether right curriculum is in place to achieve all these things, and if not, what needs to be changed. So to put it simple, we wanted to understand a bit about current innovation covered in the literature. We wanted to see whether universities are offering right module, and what is ongoing in terms of like industry adoptions in high value manufacturing innovation. So this is what we wanted to explore and see in the study. So for this, to start with, we looked at the literature. We all know so you guys, if you are doing research, we need to understand what is ongoing debate with respect to the scholars, what they say. So for that, we took last 5 years, because Industry 4 became very popular like 3-4 years ago. So we took last 5 years and looked at the literature to look at what is ongoing in terms of supply chain, in terms of high value manufacturing, in terms of innovation. So we used a search string in the databases to look for the studies which mention something about supply chain, logistics, high value manufacturing, additive manufacturing, etc. So when we did a search through Scopus, we found out 23,135 papers, and through Web of Science, we got 12,300 papers. So from various data sources, we got this paper. So literally, like we used inclusion criteria. We said the paper should be English, where the time period should be 2011. It has to be peer reviewed, and then it has to be like from high quality journals. In the UK, we have an Association of Business School academic journal ranking guide. They rank from 1 to 4, 4 being the good, 1 being not so good. So they have different classifications. So 4, they say like world leading, world number 1, etc. And then they say 1 is like it's kind of an international study. So we took only 3 and 4, and then we using this inclusion criteria, we filtered the number of papers to 181, and then we applied some of the exclusion criteria. So we wanted to see whether the title and abstract, we looked at this title and abstract, whether they mention something about innovation, whether they talk about adoption of innovation and impact of innovation. So based on that, we are able to filter the number of studies, and we found out like finally we found out something around 50, I think, sorry, this is 59 papers for full paper review. So we reviewed 59 studies, and we try to understand what are the new innovation has been reported in the literature, especially from the researcher point of view. So these are academics working in the university. They do leading researches. They get funding to do leading research. They're like considered to be some of the labs. So if you see like AstraZeneca came only through Oxford University lab. So various universities, leading universities in the UK have a research center. So we do have like a policy research center at our unit, like our university. So each university will have a research center. They will be focusing on certain type of studies. So basically, like I'm just going to list some of the innovations what is ongoing, and whether we are aware of those as a graduate. You guys need to be aware of those kind of practices, innovations, and whether you need to know the fundamental skill sets do you have to compete globally. If you want to compete globally, you need to have some of those skill sets, what is expected from the industry. So we took that in terms of journal ranking, like we looked at this number of papers, 59 papers. We said like which are the journals publishing those. We found out most of the studies appeared in production research, production economics, production operations management journals. So these journals are considered to be the high quality journals in the field. So they are publishing some of the studies which is related. So since it is supply chain, I looked at technology and operations management. I didn't go to manufacturing, pure technical manufacturing journals. So also we can see the growth in terms of studies, like a lot of kind of like research is happening in the university, especially like you can see the number of papers published is increasing phenomenally. It's exponential, I would say. Like from 2019, there were like 14, 2020, there were 16, and then we are in early 2020, like mid of 2021, which is almost like 14. So a lot of studies have been published in the journal with respect to innovative practices in high value manufacturing supply chains. So one particular, like we looked at product and process innovation. In terms of product innovation, we found out like a lot of 3D printing, additive manufacturing has been reported in the literature. In terms of product, they say this is a new shoe, which is capable, like which is antimicrobial. They say antimicrobial, which could be used in healthcare and food environment, where they are more concerned about health and safety. So now they are using, this is an only sole which has been produced, which prevents all contamination in terms of all this microbial contamination. So they are very, very particular in that. So this is a any shoe, they can only fix this sole and use it if you're going in the healthcare sector or if you're working in a food environment. So this is the only product innovation we have found recently in last 5 years in the literature in terms of high value manufacturing. So in terms of process, also in terms of process, we all know 3D printing. So there is a talk about 4D printing right now. It's in addition to 3D printing, it's in additive manufacturing. So they use, the material they use is powder or fibers and things like, they use like powders, mostly like powders from various recycled fibers, etc. So whereas now they talk about 4D is like more, they're using smart material. So they produce, after some time, it will try to elongate and form its own shape and size. So it will regain its shape and size after some time. So there is a video for you guys. I don't know whether you heard about 4D printing. So 3D printing, we all know now it is quite extensively used during COVID. So a lot of universities in the UK who had this facility, they all produced medical masks. Like they used the 3D printing to produce medical masks when there was a shortage in PPEs. Throughout the supply chain. So it was able to, like all the universities use their facility to produce masks for hospitals, for doctors and medical professionals. So let me show a video about 4D printing. Let me see. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Award-winning Sky shows right next to everything on Netflix, all for just £25 a month. There's great stuff like Save Me Too.
Sorry about that. Okay. This short video for 2 minutes.
In a nutshell, 4D printing refers to 3D printed objects that have the ability to reshape or self-assemble over time. Now, we recognise that's quite a complicated nutshell to get your head around, so here's a bit more detail. 4D printing was born out of the self-assembly lab established by Skylar Tibbets at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT. It was a concept he developed alongside Stratasys and Autodesk. It involves strategically positioning rigid and expandable materials next to each other within one 3D printed components. When the expandable materials come into contact with water, they grow up to 200% of their original volume, changing their shape and effectively repositioning the rigid materials on either side of them. The expandable materials effectively create joints in the components that are activated in certain conditions, causing the entire component to adopt a different form. Depending on the expandable material used, the contact substance necessary for it to change shape could be water, or it could be heat, light, or a range of other simple energy inputs. Software enables components to be programmed on screen before they are created, and for that data to have effectively been programmed into the component once it's been created. Going beyond this range of small-scale demonstration pieces, it's thought the technology could be used in some form of self-repairing water pipes, in pipework that changes size in relation to water flow, or in hot and cold temperature water valves. Beyond plumbing, it also has potential in medicine, clothing and footwear that adapt to climatic conditions, or in childcare products that respond to temperature changes. If you enjoyed this video and would like to get more,
yeah, I think this is more about like how programming in materials. So that is where it is, we call 4D printing. I'm back to slides. Can you see my slide, please? I'm just checking to know that I'm in the right.
Yes, Professor,
Thank you.
second.
Yeah, so
You
it's
can
smart
use,
material.
hide also.
Sorry.
Hide option is there. Next,
Okay.
stop sharing, hide. Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Can you see my screen now? It's fine.
Yes.
Right. So smart material is mostly like how to program in material, which so that after production it will try to come to the like original directions, orientations, what we expected in terms of angles and things like that. So what we are seeing is self-expandable production. So based on the program in the material, it will change its shape, or over time it will try to change its shape. So those things are possible. That is where the companies are thinking about. So they say like how you have a digital skill to do this, in addition to your fundamental mechanical, like fusion deposit machining, or whatever, serial lithography, whatever you talk about, those things, like how you're going to machine these smart materials, and then how you're going to program those smart materials so that it will change its shape, change its angle over time. So what we have seen, so this is we have seen from the literature, what people are discussing. So we all know this, like in terms of 3D printing, which is very quite common right now. There are different technologies used: jet technology, extrusion technology, flash technology, lamination and cutting technology, laser technology, where we are very well aware. Like during my days 10 years ago in India, we used to talk about SLS, selective laser melting, serial lithography, and those. Now they are more advanced, like so in terms of 3D printing. So what we have seen in the literature, mostly they talk about cost-benefit analysis, lead time reduction, kind of like efficient production, how to optimize the parameters. Those things have been discussed a lot in the literature with respect to these kind of printings. In terms of like robotics and like other innovative practices other than 3D printing, like what we are seeing is 4D printing right now, how to include smart materials with this technology and program those. Now, other than that, in terms of automation and robots, they use programmable manufacturing advisor. So typically, this is nothing but like how the system itself diagnostic. They have a diagnostic element where they will diagnose over the like what is happening, and then they will try to come out with a solution. So it is more like an independent autonomous decision making. So any environment, so these robots can diagnose and try to come up with an incremental or improvement plans. So it's more about how to continuously learn. The robots will continuously learn and improve and try to perform what you need to do. So in terms of cyber physical system, we have seen a lot of like ways of computing, communication, and controlling has been discussed in the studies. In terms of IoT, we have seen indoor localization system to find out the nearest mission, capture data, communicating with the cloud, and then trying to like try to get a solution from the cloud, etc. In terms of big data analytics, it's quite extensively used for intelligent automation, which has been reported. And in terms of simulation modeling, still they talk more in terms of like not to do what if. It is mostly to do with digital twins, which extends the use of simulation in all phases of product lifecycle. Digital twin is like a prototype created for a physical resource, and then they will try to test offline. Blockchain quite extensively used, not only in the manufacturing, it is also in the supply chain. So for improving visibility, audit trail transparency, and traceability of printed parts. Like for example, any item we produce, like it's a digital ledger, digital database, shared digital database where people can see what is happening in the other end. So artificial intelligence, like machine learning algorithms now, which is quite used, extensively used in manufacturing, for example, to ensure quality, so to avoid vibrations, wear and tear, etc. In terms of cloud technology, cloud platform is extensively used for storage, as well as for all this new service providers are using cloud they're not selling licenses, they're using cloud and trying to make money out of pay and use. So which is also good in a way, effectively utilizing resources. At the same time, we get more value added from the digital providers. And visualization technology, what has been discussed in the literature is how augmented and virtual reality. So like, for example, sensing. So in next few years, like whatever we are discussing, they will try to make us feel that we are on the real we can get the real face-to-face experience through virtual mode. So that is where they are trying to discuss in the literature about sharing, how to effectively share resources, how to integrate the real-time tasks in terms of scheduling, information exchange, system updates between on-site and off-site. So these are some of the things which has been discussed. So for us, are we preparing graduates in order to address these requirements? So that is a big question lies in front of us. So also, this is only from the focal company point of view. From the manufacturer point of view, what researches are happening in terms of how to handle this technology, how to create capability and generate value out of it. In terms of supply chain, not much. So there is big gap in terms of planning, simulation used for factory layout, predicting material resource planning, but not much. So there are a lot needs to be done. So the literature never covers. They think only supply chain, when it comes to a mind, they think about how to effectively distribute a product at right time, at right quantity, at right time, etc. But it is not only that, how to create value now, and how to automate the flow, how to make sure the reduce the how to connect directly manufacture with the customers, and how to extract innovation from suppliers. Those things have been discussed well in that supply chain literature. So in terms of technology point of view, procurement, people are extensively, there are a lot of pilot projects on with blockchain, where Walmart is effectively in the US is using for procurement to trace and track this authentic source of whatever items they sold in the supermarket. They used this technology, blockchain, so that they can track where the mango comes from. Whatever mango they are selling in Walmart can be traced in 2 seconds where it comes from which batch it belongs to. If there is a fault, how to sort it out, how to fix that. Those information are available now. So a lot of not only cryptocurrency is different. So we are saying how to apply those cryptocurrency principle in a supply chain or in a manufacturing, so that we can trace and track, make sure there is a track and track, improving building trust, visibility, transparency in the system. In terms of manufacturing, we have seen additive manufacturing, 4D printing. Basically, they are now, in addition to scheduling, autonomous decision making, quality management, they are trying to, not much has been done in terms of how to connect. For example, there was, I don't know whether you heard this example in the US, Foot Locker has a very good engagement with Adidas, where we all know that each one of us have a different shape and size of a foot. So they wanted to customize the footwear according to the individual needs. So whenever you go to this Foot Locker retail outlet, so they will scan your feet, and if you wait for 30 minutes, they will print and give you kind of a shoe which is exactly matches your shape of your feet, and it is more customized. So what we are doing is mass production. Now they talk more about mass customization with this technology. So what kind of skill sets you need to know? So that is big issue. In terms of delivering, mostly they use technology in terms of warehousing, but not much in terms of last mile delivery. In terms of return, we talk a lot because of climate change, we are experiencing a lot right now. So how to reduce the exploitation of minimal resources, what we have. So how to reuse or recycle, remanufacture what we have at the moment. So that is what it's ongoing debate in the literature. So basically what we came to know from this literature review process, this exercise, we are able to find out IoT, BDA. What we mean by BDA is big data analytics, and cloud is mostly combined with other technologies, but not much on AI applications. So AI, again, China is leading in terms of AI applications globally compared to the Western economies. They're very lagging a lot. So AI is going to be the future in terms of building decision-making capability to the machine. So which is hard. If we looked at recently, we scrapped all the requirements from the LinkedIn portal, and we found out that like more than 300 jobs are available. People, especially with mechanical, I have seen, I was astonished to see that like mechanical engineers, Facebook needed mechanical engineers with automation skills, with AI skills. And in future, like there is also what we came to know from the literature, how to build a smart supply chain rather than smart factories. So we talked about smart factories of future, but it is more smart supply chains, how to link tier 2 suppliers with the customers. So that is the ongoing issue right now. So I will not take much of your time. So to give on the university supply side, so whatever I have shared with you, what faculty are doing research in terms of making advancement to the scholarly debate, as well as they are trying to convert their innovations in terms of IPs, like new patents and things. But at the same time, are they being good at training graduates, whatever they do? Again, there is a big gap. So what they do, what they teach, they are totally different. So in terms of UK, so I'm just having UK. This project is oriented with the UK. So we in UK, we call, there are many universities, more than 250 universities are there in the UK. So if you there are only like there are different categories of universities here again, and then they call the top universities are called as Russell Group universities, where top 21 universities are there, which is very old universities like Ivy League from the North America. So we looked at all this Russell Group. Very few offer kind of sophisticated kind of curriculum. So they have, they have a sophisticated curriculum. So what we found out, most of the teaching-based universities are picking up well, like polytechnics. We used to call previously polytechnics in the UK. So now they are offering some of the advanced courses. So to be like, this is very strange for us. Like when we looked at all these universities, we found out very few universities like University of Wales, University of Portsmouth, University of Exeter, University of Strathclyde are offering these kind of courses. Again, there are a number of other criteria which influences this, because Western economy students are not, Western economy like students, those who wanted to study, they are not much interested in science and technology, engineering, management, engineering and mathematics, but only international students come here and do all these kind of courses. So that's what, there was not much glamour for these courses. Again, universities like all this Russell Group universities are not so keen to offer those courses. But whereas now it's changing, the scenario is changing because of government intervention as well as the need of the companies. So they are revisiting and they are trying to offer some of the sophisticated courses where they wanted to produce an industry-ready graduate. So they should be easily employable when they go to industry. So that's where. So it's strange. So for us, you can't find you can't see this University of Sussex yet because we are good at social sciences, but still we are developing right now an online course on digital supply chains. So along with peers and publishers. So with this, I think I took a lot of time, but I'll stop here to take your questions, please.
Prakash, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can unmute students, let them ask questions.
So now the floor is open. The student can raise your question or raise your doubts to Dr. S.V. Nachiyappan.
I think I'm within the time. Sorry, I didn't exceed the time.
Yeah, you are within the time. Correct.
So I'm happy to take any questions. So this is ongoing study. I didn't give a full picture. We are going to do multiple interviews with the companies. We wanted to know what is exactly happening in company other than desk research, what we did. So the demand side, we have to work a lot. For supply side, we are trying to investigate and see what is on.
Sir, one question, sir.
Yeah.
In globalized economy, this supply chain plays a vital role. If our student want to become a expert or consultant or work in the area of supply chain, how he has to prepare, sir?
Yeah, so there are several like online courses now available. So especially with MIT, they are the pioneers in terms of supply chain globally. So they offer online courses. So, but it is a paid course. There are also like from the MOOC, they have like free courses. So to start with, I would advise to take few of the supply chain courses in terms of understanding planning, procurement, sustainable logistics, a bit about having knowledge in terms of like analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence. If they could pick up some of these kind of issues and then combine with logistics, combine with procurement, combine with warehousing, then that will give them a lot of advantage to get a job globally. So anywhere, like there is a big need in industry from graduates with these skill sets. So that's what we learned. So people earlier think logistics are drivers, but it is not the case at all. So it's totally different. So there are many avenues, like there are structured pathways in terms of doing higher studies in supply chain in the Western universities, or there are unstructured way in terms of like Udemy and other like online portals are offering personal learning clouds where they can study some of they call upskilling, or if they wanted to totally reskill, there are like a lot of few modules available where they from MOOC they can take those modules, so that it will give them a lot of opportunity, awareness to grab this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions, please?
You can be free to ask your questions.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. This is Jyoti Basu.
Yes, Jyoti Basu, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Again, it's like reminds me of my ME class. So by the time you were teaching supply chain management. So yeah, after a very long time, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir. So my question is like now everybody is talking about industry 4.0, supply chain 4.0, and logistics 4.0. So how you fit in this high value manufacturing here? Is it more of like IoT related?
Yes, mostly like digitalization. If we say like a cyber physical system, IoT, cloud, artificial intelligence, how we are going to bring in these technology to various processes. It could be like if you do deal with like mechanical engineering, like there are a number of avenues, like in terms of manufacturing, in terms of design, how to integrate technology, how to generate value out of this technology. In terms of manufacturing, how to integrate. So we know like only computers, not computers, how to use digital technologies to generate value. So that is where we need to think ahead in terms of thinking about high value manufacturing. So high value manufacturing is more about designing, not like operational level, we call programming. So in India, we are good at programming. So beyond programming, how to come out with a new kind of process, new kind of product, which needs, so for the skill sets to generate a new process, new product. So we need to think about how to critically make students to think about designing new process, new product, how we challenge them in the curriculum. So how we challenge them to make them to learn. It's not through forcing, creating curiosity, making engaging students to think about digital skill sets. It's not like by force, by how to say, like by invoking their interest. So that is where the curriculum has to change. That's what my experience I found out from this. So it's not we are not like following kind of like technology, but we need to be strong and fundamental, whatever we study in the university. But in addition to that, how we are going to link these fundamentals with the hot topics, like hot requirements in the industry. So fundamentals need to be good, but how we are going to link this fundamental knowledge with the expectation of the industry in terms of new emerging things, like how we are going to build on. So previously we used to automate like using programs, but now how we are going to build an AI system where it autonomously makes decision, learn and makes decision. So in terms of different manufacturing scenarios, or how we are going to, we think simulation, we think more about what if, beyond what if, how we are going to build a digital twins. So are we training students along those lines? To be honest, no. So are we giving an opportunity to make them to learn? So yeah, I have seen many university courses in the UK, they give all this kind of independent learning challenges. Whereas in India, it's totally still missing. So,
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thanks.
Any other questions? Yeah.
So this is Abhinav, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, is there any opportunities for an international internship in supply chain management, sir?
With the company, you mean, or with the academics?
With the academics, sir.
Yeah, there are many. So I have seen, I think other, I don't know whether you are Abhinav. So one Abhinav from you.
Yes, he is that person. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this Abhinav, so he came to us, like he I don't know, somehow we found out from LinkedIn, he asked, can I do this internship? So then he showed, like he said, he shared his CV, which I got surprised to see, like his enthusiasm towards learning in terms of a lot of online courses, in terms of analytics, in terms of like the programming skills, especially like we thought, okay, why can't we? So I interacted with him, and then he wanted, okay, we said, why can't we develop a book project where we try to understand a bit about NIME, how NIME could be used for the supply chain decisions and supply chain functions automation. So why can't we come out with some different cases from procurement, manufacturing, distribution, warehousing, etc. We thought about different scenarios. He was very curious to learn. So I know you know that how to approach people. So that is a way to approach people through LinkedIn. Talk to them, share your thoughts, and then get connected with them, and then come out with some kind of good outcome. So that is the there are many other possibilities. I'm just telling you from your experience how you contacted me earlier.
Actually,
So,
sir, I think this Abhinav is in the present intern group, sir. I think so.
Okay. So I don't know. There was another Abhinav, like last year, from a final year student. I think he got placed. So the guy came on his own. It's the easiest way to look for international academics is through LinkedIn. So go to their profile, look at their profile, what they are doing, and then if you are interested with that academic, write to them. So I have seen many students from TCU in the past. They used to contact through LinkedIn. They will work for 3 months with the academics, international academic. Then they will be like part of the project or the papers or the research study, and then it will take a little longer time, but end of the day they will get an outcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, any other questions? Any other queries?
Any other comments, queries? Other than that, you can ask anything, like not with respect to subject, supply chain, or whatever you want to know about UK, or you wanted to know about where I come from, what I did, and use TCE, blah blah. So whatever, I think you feel free to ask any questions if you would like to. It's a good opportunity for you guys to interact with people and to know like what's going on. Yeah, I know you guys want to get a job, but getting better jobs, equipping yourself well would be good. I think you all go to IT companies. Beyond IT companies, what is your kind of aim, where you wanted to land at the end?
Sir, UK government has announced something called youth mobility programs.
Mm-hmm.
So could you please explain about it, sir?
Right. So this is a bit of, yeah. I don't know exactly what youth mobility program you're asking. So in terms of universities, like there are a lot of opportunity. If you go to British Council, they do have Endeavour fellowships. They have Chevening scholarship for UK. Plus, they have this kind of postgraduate study visa program where once you study in the UK, and if you have a right skill set, if you're able to, you can stay in the UK for next 2 years, and you can get a job. You can stay here for forever if you like. So that is where they are like trying to find out the skilled workers. They have a skilled worker visa right now, like they do like what you have heard about Canada or Australia. They do have a point systems. So if you have a right skill set, we have a global talents migration program as well as skilled worker migration program. So if you have a right skill set, you have plenty of opportunity to be in the UK. I don't know whether I have answered your question, but this is generic information I know, but I don't know the specific youth mobility program you're referring to.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good.
Any other questions related with the higher studies at the UK, higher studies at the US? You can, if you have any doubts, you can ask with the Dr. Nachiappan.
So end of the day, it's more about your interest, your passion, the time you're spending working to equip yourself. So these three things are important for you to be in your dream position where you want to be. So nothing more than that. So there is no magic.
Okay, sir.
Right. I think.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
fine.
Then we will ask Mr. Professor Prakash to propose a vote of thanks, and I wish Ramanathan and Jodi Basu and Sivakumar sir, please stay. We can share few words with the students on your based on your rich experience.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Now, Prakash, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm audible, sir.
Yes, very much audible.
Once again, warm greetings to everybody. It's a good time to propose vote of thanks. It's a great honor to me to propose vote of thanks on these occasions. So we would not be here without our institution. So first and foremost, I would like to thank TCE for giving us the opportunity and to gather today. So next, I would like to thank today's resource person, Dr. Nachiappan Subramanian, Professor of Operations and Logistics Management and Supply Chains, University of Success Business School, UK, for his excellent and informative webinar. Sir, this session is really meaningful and eye-opener for many students, sir. So for me, I joined this institution from 2014. At some circumstance, most of the people talk about you in positive manner. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your continuous support towards TC, sir. I record my sense of deep gratitude or respected the principal Dr. M. Palniyarajara, sir, to allow us to conduct this kind of webinars. Thank you, sir. I am extremely grateful to our beloved head of department, Dr. K. Chokkalingam, sir, for his continuous support and guidance. Thank you, sir. I express my sincere thanks to all deans, HODs, and faculty members of TCE. Thank you all. So I express my sincere thanks to Dr. P.L.K. Palniyappan, sir, Professor of Mechanical Engineering, organizer of this webinar. Thank you, sir. Without you, this program won't happen. Thank you once again, sir. Finally, I would like to thank all mechanical engineering faculty members and students for their active participation and involvement. So without your involvement, this program won't get success. Thank you all, and we will meet on other webinars. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
And before going to call the end of the day, I request Ramanathan Kannappan, followed by Sivakumar and Jodi Basu to share their experience. Welcome you all.
Okay. Yeah. Hi. Hello. Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, Ramanathan.
Okay, good. So just an introduction about me. I am Ramanathan Kannappan, and my connection with PC is that I completed my my MTech production in Taraja Engineering College during the year 2001 to 2003. And during that period, I interacted with my professors, Chokkalingam sir, Palniyappan sir, and Nachiappan sir. And for the information, Chokkalingam sir was my project guide for my MTech project, and I did in the topic stereolithography. And luckily or unluckily, initially I started my career for a few months as a lecturer in a college. Then totally I moved to the software industry. So I had around 20 years of experience in the software industry, mainly related to the mechanical engineering, luckily. So I'm not like a programmer, but I work on like logistics, supply chain management, and ERP systems, like the warehouse management, extended warehouse management topics. So today my information or just an guidance to you, the students, young budding engineers, is that we need to be a little bit more enthusiastic in learning new things, because every 4 years or 5 years the technology is changing in the market. So we cannot like stay that we learn that thing that will never continue for the rest of the life. So we should be in a position that our thirst and eagerness to learn should be always there. So the technology changes, the software changes, because when I joined, the SAP was very old. Now it is more like a digitalized way of SAP. And SAP is also like a backend system. We have Fiori, and all the logistics management solutions have also changed. So you have to definitely equip yourself on the digitalized skills. That is a must nowadays. Whether you are a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer, you should have a digitalized skills, because all the companies are forced to move to the digitalized way to survive in the market, because now the survival in the market is more important, because if they go with the conventional way, the cost is very high. So they are finding new technological ways to digitalize it so that the work is completed in a much faster way. So there is nothing to fear in the market. There are a lot of opportunities in the market. Only thing is we need to find the right skill set we need to equip. So just Google everything. There are a lot of articles, a lot of papers there, white papers. Just equip yourself and understand which is your strength, and equip yourself in that area so that you can get your dream job. So that is my guidance to you at this point of time. Thank you everyone for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ramanathan.
Thank you, Ramanathan. Yes, sir. Please, chuckling, sir, please. Thank you, Ramanathan. We emphasized on the digital learning. Now, today, all the students are digital natives, and they have to be focus their energy on the right things, as you said. If they focus in the right channel, they are having a lot of opportunities in all the domains, especially in supply chain logistics domains. It's a kind of information to the students. You please take the right directions, and you have many seniors, alumnus. That is the great strength of our college. Like Ramanathan is there. He is in Singapore. He is ready to help you if you are going to come out with a very innovative solution in the area of logistics. Like that, we have very many alumni. So that is our strength. Please make use of the strength. Okay. So next, I request Sivakumar, Professor Sivakumar, to say a few words. Hello.
Thank you for your input, sir. Thank you, Mr. Nachiappan. It's very useful for our academic as well as in general.
Okay, thank you, Sivakumar. Sivakumar sir is working as a professor in Muscat. And next, Jyoti Basu, why don't you join now?
Sir, good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yes,
hello?
yes.
Yes, sir. Sorry for the poor lighting since power is gone. Yeah, so myself, Jyoti Basu, now currently I am working in Presidency University, Bangalore as an associate professor in mechanical engineering. I can say I'm proud alumni of TCE. By the time I was doing my master's in industrial engineering, big gurus like starting from Javadar sir, so many like great professors. Now we can see Nathi sir, Palliappan sir, Chokkalingam sir. So they are like best people in the market by the time and now also. So what I'm trying to say is like as Ramanathan pointed out. So there are so many like handshake of technologies. Let it be IoT, let it be AI or any computer related technologies. as a mechanical engineer, you have to learn, no other option. Since it is going to be interdisciplinary, maybe slowly we are like moving away from the core programs. So it is completely going to be interdisciplinary. So we have to learn, even though you are taken mechanical engineering as an option. So my point of view is like for me, TC is a temple, and from where I learned a lot, and I got great professors. Still, I'm having a good relationship. Still, so many mentors guiding me. Even though I'm into almost 14 years in my career. So please make use of the faculty available, like a good resource persons. As Palni sir pointed out, TC is having a very good alumni network, just like any other good institutions like IITs. So please make use of the opportunity, and yeah, your career will also be very good. I would like to congratulate everyone who participated, and best of luck. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jyoti Basu.
Thank you.
Thank you. Students, do you like to interact with any one of the your seniors, alumnus? Okay. Okay, then we can officially close this program. Thank you, Anandal. Thank you, Nachiappan. Thank you for sharing your valuable time. Thank you, Ramanathan, Shivakumar, Jyoti Basu, and all my colleagues and friends and students. Thank you, Anandal.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
Thank you, Nachiappan. Thank you, Ramanathan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jyoti Basu, bye. Shiva, bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, sir.